Welcome to Folk Tales, a podcast series for anyone who loves spending time on, in or by the water. In this special episode for International Women's Day, we join Marisa Bell, Sarah Hall and Jess Olden from Boatfolk's dedicated boat sales business, Boat Point. We talk all things boating, boat sales and what being a woman in the marine industry is like. Let's hear what they had to say.
So, welcome to our podcast. First of all, thank you very much for joining me. Jess, if we just start with you, if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, your job title, a bit about your background, how long you've been in your role, maybe a little bit on any other companies you've worked for as well.
So, I'm the assistant manager at East Cowes, and I've been here since, I think, 2012 now. I just started as a seasonal person, so worked my way up. And then I just started doing Boat Point literally just before Christmas. So I'm fairly new to brokerage.
Yeah,
I grew up on the Isle of Wight. My parents got me and my siblings into sailing quite young. So we just used to, every Thursday and Friday evening, get out on the river with the local club. And it was more a case of just messing about in the water rather than learning to sail to start with. But that led to evenings and weekends, dinghy sailing all through our summer holidays. So we just did that for all through school and uni, really. When I finished uni, I went on and I taught water sports at UKSA, which is just the centre across the river here. I did a season out in New Zealand as well, so just teaching windsurfing and dinghy sailing. And then I came over to East Cowes and been here so far.
No fears by the sounds of it of getting on water. You were just sort of, for your parents, kind of instilled it in.
No, I did. I hated it when I first started. I was terrified of the water, that they kept saying to me, "You'll thank us for this one day."
I was going to say, have you reached that point yet? Oh, thank you. And then a little bit about me, if you didn't know already. Marisa, work in marketing for Boat Point. And I have not grown up by the water at all. I'm actually a bit of a city girl. And I moved to Southampton a couple of years ago. And we did have kind of country seaside holidays as a kid. Really just a dinghy that I would go out on, and things like that. So my first real opportunity to get on the water, and that experience happened literally when I started working for Boat Point. And went out on a powerboat, which was insane, but really, really, really good fun, but mad at the end of January because it's just freezing cold. So I'm very, very excited working for this job, for this company. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Definitely. So Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to? And same for you, really, sort of first time getting out of the water in the job and your job title.
Yeah, so I'm Sarah. I'm one of the yacht brokers here at Conway Marina up in northwest Wales. Similar sort of background, really. Grew up here in sort of west coast of North Wales. Joined the local sailing club when I was in school, so that was sort of my first entry into sort of sailing. Did that throughout my sort of high school years, and my family sort of, like Jeff's, were sort of, into water sports. We had like a boat, so it sort of grew up on the water. But then sort of took time out and did quite a bit of ski seasons after uni. So I ended up sort of more in the mountains than near the ocean. But eventually ended up in New Zealand, ended up back in Auckland, and randomly sort of lived on an old big catch boat in Auckland Harbour. And that was sort of the first time that I sort of got back into sort of the world of sailing and being like, oh yeah, I remember doing this when I was younger. And you kind of like reignite your sort of passion for it. So I did quite a bit when I was over there, but worked in totally different industry, was sort of in portfolio investment. So managing investment portfolios for properties over in Auckland. So it was great doing that over there and sort of having that sort of pastime of being close to the ocean and sailing again. And then since sort of relocating back home to North Wales, it's been great to sort of transfer that sort of experience into brokerage and being back involved in actually your interest and your job. So yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind ride, but it's been really good fun, and it's great working here in Conway. I've learned a lot, and it's just nice to be back sort of in the boating world, talking about boats, going on boats, selling boats.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Right. Well, I'll be seeing you soon as well, Sarah. So
yes, yeah.
So not just over Zoom. And I love that. I love that you guys are both. I'm very envious of you getting time abroad as well, because in the hot sunshine, out on the water does make all the difference. I can imagine.
Yes.
So now in your role, sort of how do you feel about, with all of that experience and the length that you've kind of been in the boating world, if you like, how do you feel about the amount of women who get into water? Is it get onto the water and get into boating? Is it something that you think should be encouraged more, or do you think it's not really an issue?
Well, I've got lots of friends who work in and around the water as well, and in the industry. So sailed on an all girls crew last summer on the Sonata. So it's great to have all the girls out on the water as well. But yeah, there's not so many in boat folk. So yeah, to you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
The girls crew thing then.
I agree with Jess. It's sort of the same here. I mean, in your own sort of lives, your friend groups, you do sort of do quite a bit with, women in water sports and sailing and that sort of thing. But from a professional stance here in the brokerage, I mean, generally it is sort of more of a man's world, I guess, in terms of boat ownership, and the people that I deal with day to day tend to be more like that. But it would be great to see more people, more women owning boats and sort of being involved in that sort of, world, because it is a bit like that in the brokerage. I don't come across many female sort of boat owners. I come across a lot of women that are interested and they're into sailing and they do it. But it always seems to be more
It's definitely male dominated.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of our berth holders as well,
Yes.
It's very male dominated. There's lots of families that come down too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what drew you to the brokerage side of things, to sort of shift more into that? Because obviously, Sarah, you were doing completely different stuff before, but then you've come kind of full circle back to a more local area, and, there's a vested interest in it in the first place. And then with you, Jess, because you've been the marina manager side of it. So, is there anything that led you to think, actually, let's give selling these boats a go?
I think I did it just for a new challenge. I mean, I've had this role in the marina for quite a long time, and I knew they were looking to open the Boat Point office down in East Cowes, and I just thought it would be a great way to, I know how to sail perfectly well, but just broaden my knowledge of, all the boats that are out there as well, and just see a different side of the marine industry as well.
Yeah, definitely. Did somebody, one of you guys completed a sale recently as well?
Yeah, I think Jess, didn't you just get Hunter Legend or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
So that's under offer at the moment, and has its survey on Friday. So that will be my first sale, if it all goes to plan from start to finish. So that's quite good. Yeah. Yeah,
it's really good. Yeah. Congrats. Yeah, I like it. Honestly, I'm so tempted sometimes. I'm thinking, do I do marketing or should I just be a broker and I can get and then what about you, Sarah? Was it, are you quite into sort of sales and things like that as well? Or was it more the sort of spec side of boats that interested you?
Yeah, I think it's just sort of the overall role and sort of like a people person. So I like speaking to people, meeting people. And I think, brokerage, it is fundamentally sales. It is a sales role, but there's a lot of sort of engagement and building relationships and it's quite fast paced. So I've always been sort of drawn to those types of roles. It's like Jess says, it's a challenge. So there's so much to learn, and you learn something new every day, and every sail is something different. You think it's going to go one way, and then you get curveball, and there's something that you have to sort of sort out or work through. So it keeps you on your toes, and I think that's sort of what attracts me to the role. It's no day's ever the same, and you're constantly learning. There'll be a boat that you will spec that you've never been on before, and you'll learn something new. So it's just it's great in that sense of a role. I think it's dynamic, and it gives you it provides that challenge. And then obviously the sales is, if you sort of have that personality where you like to be maybe a little bit competitive, or you like to sort of push yourself, then you can do with it what you sort of want, in a sense. So
Yeah.
So
when you were saying about some of the challenges in sailing in general, are there any sort of stories or things that you've overcome when you've been out sailing, and like big lessons that you've learned that you'd share with others?
No, well, Jess has probably got more than I do. I've just been sort of nothing too crazy.
I think it's all about just going for it, really. I suppose my biggest sailing achievement was doing the fast net a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's something I always said I wouldn't ever do. And I was a late addition to the team because they had a dropout. And it's one of the best things, and one of the things I'm most proud of that I've done. So just go and give it a go, I suppose.
So what was that sail then? Because I'm a complete lay person. So what did you have to do?
It's a 600-mile offshore race. So you start in Cowes, and then you sail basically to the Fastnet Rock, which is off Southern Ireland, and then it finishes back in Plymouth. So it's every other year, and it's quite a famous race.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a serious.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It was definitely type 2 fun, but worth doing.
Yeah. In my kind of, I don't know. I'll never say never. I'm someone who likes to, mix things up and try new things, definitely. But I have to admit, I do have a bit of a fear around sailing. Like, could I actually do it?
Yeah, of course you could.
Whenever I see a race, I think there's quite a lot going on. Like, that's a lot of stuff that you've got to learn. You need to be quite responsive. I can get distracted easily and just run out of energy.
You start in a team, so there's always someone there to be showing you what to do, and you just you pick it up so quickly
as you go along. Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll be able to do it all.
Oh no! Well, I'm now in the right job for giving it a go. So
exactly.
Watch this space, guys.
You need to get out there on the pontoons, chat to the berth holders, and get on their boats.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, I do. I know. It's a bit more challenging at Old Hamble, to be honest. But yeah. So just a couple more questions then. A couple of things that I wanted to ask as well is kind of just more really about yourselves and other things that you do outside of being in the marine industry as well. So yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about those kinds of activities outside of boating life?
Yeah. So I'm, like I said, I'm quite into my skiing. So I do quite a bit of sort of outdoory sort of sports. I mean, living in Snowdonia, Northwest Wales, it's quite accessible. So weekends, days off, you can usually find something sort of to get up to. But yeah, it's been nice since being home, just sort of re-exploring your sort of local backyard, because you can't wait to get away when you're younger, and then you sort of realise that there's so much to sort of see here. So I just lots to that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's a similar thing. Both of you seem very active though. Is that the same as you, Jess, or?
I love all my outdoor activities, so I'm quite envious of Sarah being where you are.
Yeah.
Especially, I like getting out on my mountain bike. I do a lot of running as well, and I'm off skiing next week. So
nice. Oh, also,
quite excited for that.
Where are you going, Jeff?
Val Thorens. So
jealous.
Working high up, should be a good week. Anything outdoors, just
It's good. It's good. I like that. And that's for me the biggest shift. I did used to have a lot of that in my childhood. And then moving to the city, just sort of got caught up in that, going to work, getting on the underground, which is very depressing. But sort of starts off being really exciting in your early 20s, or overwhelming, actually. That's the truth. And then you get used to it. And then by the time you reach your 30s, or, you know, there's a time limit for sure. And then you're like, right, I'm done now. So even though I've not lived by the coast before, now I am. It's definitely that getting outside is a lot more likely to happen. And it's just a lot more accessible and a healthier lifestyle, I think. Definitely. All right. Well, thank you very, very much for your time today. It's been really, really nice getting to know both of you. And yeah, just thanks for sharing a little bit about yourselves, what you do in your job, how you got on the water. It's most appreciated personally in my role, as well as it will be more widely with Boat Book Group as well, and any of our listeners. Right. Well, thanks so much, guys. Cheers.
You guys. Nice chatting. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Folk Tales and that you join us for the next episode soon.